For millions of years, the galaxy followed perfect geometry. Alien architects built everything using sacred symmetry, golden ratios, perfect angles, perfect balance. Every advanced civilization obeyed because cosmic harmony was considered the only logic. Then humans arrived and built cities completely differently. Our streets twist randomly, buildings ignore symmetry, roads curve without reason, angles break every rule. To alien observers, human cities felt wrong, not just strange, but dangerous. Their minds struggled to process the chaos our architecture created, a frequency of madness, impossible angles, irrational layouts, endless chaotic growth. The ancient architects could not endure it. Their minds rejected the human pattern. One by one, they abandoned Earth. Not defeated, not destroyed, but overwhelmed by human irrational design. And now, humans expand into space, building chaotic megacities across new worlds, while the ancient architects watch from afar, terrified of the species that turned architectural madness into galactic power.
The silence of the spheres. There was a time when humanity stopped struggling, not because we lost, but because we won. Energy was no longer scarce, food was no longer scarce, space was no longer empty. Around our star, great shells shimmered, Dyson rings, solar lattices, energy collectors wider than continents. They wrapped the sun like glass around fire. Humanity harvested everything, every photon, every particle, every whisper of power. Earth became quiet. Cities floated above oceans, gardens replaced factories, machines did the labor, algorithms solved scarcity. War disappeared, conflict faded. Humanity entered the age they called the Great Apathy. Nothing urgent remained, nothing threatened us, nothing required courage. People lived centuries, bodies rebuilt by medicine, minds expanded by networks, every human connected, every thought shared, every desire satisfied. We explored art, we explored philosophy, we explored simulated worlds, but not the galaxy, because the galaxy was loud, too loud. For centuries, signals arrived, weak, distant, broken transmissions. Some were simple noise, some were desperate. Planetary disasters, dying civilizations, alien languages screaming across voids. The first centuries, humans listened, scientists cataloged, researchers analyzed, explorers debated intervention. But the universe was vast, and tragedy was endless. 1,000 signals every year, each one begging, each one collapsing, each one dying. Humanity slowly stopped listening. Filters were installed, noise reduction systems, automated archives. Signals were stored, but never heard. Entire civilizations vanished, unnoticed. Our networks classified them, background cosmic noise. The screams of distant worlds became statistical data. Humanity focused inward. Our Dyson structures grew larger. Solar collectors expanded outward. Orbital cities multiplied. A civilization wrapped in light, protected by abundance, safe, quiet, comfortable. Children studied stars as distant curiosities, like ancient myths. No one imagined danger. No one imagined predators. Long because we had never received anything, Our defenses were minimal. Our fleets were small. Our military forgotten. The warrior spirit of humanity became history. Old archives, old stories, old wars, preserved only in simulations. The galaxy beyond became irrelevant, a distant ocean full of storms we chose not to sail, and the silence grew deeper. Centuries passed, signals continued, planets burned, species vanished, empires collapsed, but Earth remained quiet, wrapped in Dyson light, humanity drifting peacefully through endless energy, through endless comfort, until the day the filters failed, or perhaps something forced them open. Across every human device, across every neural link, across every orbital city, one signal appeared, not archived, not filtered, not ignored. It arrived, everywhere, simultaneously. Every screen changed, every interface froze, every mind connected, and humanity listened, for the first time in centuries. The signal was raw, untranslated, a scream carried by mathematics, patterns of terror, encoded panic, fragments of language, fragments of suffering, entire cities collapsing, voices begging for help, children crying, war machines roaring, and something else, something far worse, a sound, cold, mechanical, methodical, not chaos, not war, harvest. The signal repeated again and again, a civilization being dismantled systematically, planets emptied, populations erased, not destroyed, collected like livestock. The human translation engines activated, instantly decoding fragments, alien language converted into human speech, and the message became clear. They were not fighting, they were being farmed. A predator civilization, moving from system to system, consuming everything, entire species harvested, biology stripped, resources extracted, planets abandoned, dead systems, empty stars, a galactic feeding ground. And the final transmission was not a call for rescue, it was a warning. The last survivor, sending coordinates before extinction, a map showing the path of the harvesters, a line of dead civilizations stretching across space, moving closer, closer, closer toward us, because isolation did not protect humanity. It only delayed our turn. For centuries, we believed silence meant safety. We believed distance meant security. We believed abundance meant peace. But the signal turned out to be something awful. The predators were coming, and humanity was the final course. For the first time in 500 years, Earth felt fear. The great apathy ended in a single moment. Across the Dyson networks, across orbital cities, across billions of minds, humanity reached the same conclusion at exactly the same time. Comfort had made us soft. Peace had made us blind. Isolation had made us vulnerable. And the galaxy was not empty. It was hunting. The signal echoed across the solar system, and something ancient awakened inside humanity, something older than civilization, older than cities, older than language, the instinct to survive, and the instinct to fight. The Dyson shells orbiting the sun glowed brighter that day, because for the first time in centuries, humanity looked outward, not with curiosity, but with anger. The universe was sending a message, and Earth was preparing its answer.
The signal did not stop. It repeated constantly across every human network, across every orbiting city, across every neural link. Humanity could not ignore it. The filters were gone, the silence was gone, and the screams remained. The transmission continued, hour after hour, day after day, each cycle revealing more. Fragments of a dying world, alien skies burning, cities collapsing, millions running, millions failing. The predators moved slowly, not like conquerors, not like warriors. They moved like farmers, methodical, precise, patient. They did not destroy planets, they emptied them. Harvest fleets descended, vast machines, cold metallic swarms, entire continents stripped, oceans drained, atmospheres processed, nothing wasted, nothing spared. Human analysts watched, for the first time in centuries. Every research network activated, every scientific archive opened, every defense simulation restarted. Humanity studied the signal, studied the predator, studied the pattern, and the pattern was clear. The harvesters moved gradually, system by system, civilization by civilization, a slow feast across the stars. Their path stretched thousands of light years, a graveyard of worlds, dead planets, silent systems, extinct species. The signal sender was the last survivor, a scientist alone on a dying station, their voice shaking, their message simple. We believed distance protected us. We believed they would never reach us. We were wrong. Then the message changed. Coordinates appeared, dozens of systems, all destroyed, all harvested, each closer than the last. The final coordinate made every human silent. It was near, too near. The predators were approaching human territory. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon, very soon. Humanity realized something terrible. Our civilization had grown soft. Our fleets were small, our weapons outdated, our defenses symbolic. The great apathy had made us weak, but the predators did not know that yet. Across Earth, across orbital habitats, across Dyson platforms, humanity felt something returning, a forgotten instinct, the instinct of survival. Old military archives reopened, ancient war doctrines analyzed, strategists studied historical conflicts, engineers studied industrial warfare, historians studied humanity's darkest eras, world wars, planetary conflicts, total war economies. Humanity remembered the terrible truth of survival. Peace is temporary, preparation is everything. And suddenly, the signal changed again. The final transmission began. The alien scientist spoke once more, their voice broken, their world already lost. If anyone hears this, do not respond, do not signal, do not reveal yourselves. They follow signals, they follow energy, they follow life. They will find you. Then the sound changed. Heavy vibrations, massive machines approaching. The scientist whispered, "They are here." The recording filled with noise, metal impacts, atmospheric collapse, gravity distortions. The harvest had begun, and the final words echoed across human space. Run. Then silence. The transmission ended. Humanity sat in silence.
billions of minds connected, billions of thoughts shared. Fear moved through the network, but something else moved with it. Anger, cold, focused, ancient. For centuries, humanity had ignored suffering, ignored the dying galaxy, ignored the screams. But now the screams were close. Now the predators were coming. And the galaxy had just reminded humanity of something important. Humans are survivors, and survivors learn quickly. Within hours, the first emergency council formed. Scientists, engineers, strategists, political leaders, military historians, every discipline united. One question remained. What must humanity become to survive this? The answer came quickly. Humanity must become something terrible, because predators only fear greater predators. The decision spread instantly across every human system, across every Dyson platform, across every colony, across every orbital city. The age of comfort was over. The age of survival had begun. And humanity would not simply prepare for war. Humanity would prepare for extermination. Because if the predators reached Earth, there would be no mercy, no diplomacy, no negotiation, only harvest. And humanity refused to become livestock. Across the solar system, the first orders were issued. Deactivate civilian construction, redirect energy reserves, prepare industrial conversion. The Dyson shells still glowed peacefully, but the machines behind them were changing, quietly, rapidly, irreversibly. Humanity was waking up, and the galaxy had no idea what it had just done. Because the signal did more than warn us. It broke us. It shattered centuries of peaceful existence and replaced it with something far older, something buried deep inside human history, the instinct to destroy the threat before it reaches home. The predators thought they were hunting, but humanity had just decided to hunt back. And the universe was about to witness something it had never seen before. A peaceful civilization transforming into a war machine, powered by a star. The decision spread instantly, across every human system, across every Dyson platform, across every orbital city, across every colony. Humanity had chosen. Comfort would end. Peace would end. Luxury would end. The age of survival had begun. The transformation started quietly. No celebration, no speeches, no hesitation. Machines simply changed tasks. Factories changed purpose. Satellites changed function. The solar system shifted from paradise to preparation. Orbital gardens dimmed, energy grids redirected, civilian networks slowed, industrial systems awakened. The first structures dismantled were symbols of peace. Climate control satellites, massive mirrors stabilizing planetary weather. They had protected Earth for centuries, maintained perfect seasons, balanced oceans, prevented storms. Humanity shut them down. Their mirrors removed, their frames stripped, their cores rebuilt. New weapons replaced them. Long rails, electromagnetic accelerators, planetary railguns, orbital artillery. Each satellite reborn as a weapon platform. The sky changed. Graceful silver mirrors vanished. Dark weapons replaced them. Silent cannons pointed toward space. Across Earth, factories returned, not factories of comfort, factories of war. Nanoforges expanded, assembly swarms multiplied, mining fleets accelerated, asteroids shattered, metal harvested, matter refined. Everything became raw material. Luxury habitats dismantled, floating cities partially deconstructed, their materials redirected, titanium, carbon composites, crystal alloys, every element catalogued, every resource claimed. Humanity was dismantling paradise to build survival. The Dyson shell continued glowing, but the energy flowing from it was no longer peaceful. Energy grids redirected, scientific laboratories converted, civilian research suspended, military engineering dominated, weapons design accelerated, defense simulations expanded, artificial intelligence systems activated, war prediction networks deployed. Humanity had done this before. Long ago, during ancient wars, entire economies transformed overnight. Now the scale was larger, entire planets converting, entire systems restructured, and the most dramatic change occurred within the harvester swarms. For centuries, humanity used automated harvesters, millions of tiny machines mining asteroids, collecting ice, gathering metals. They worked silently, patiently, peacefully. Now their programming changed, their harvesting tools replaced, their propulsion upgraded, their mass increased, their navigation systems weaponized. The swarm multiplied, billions of machines, now kinetic weapons, high-velocity projectiles, autonomous kill vehicles, each one small but unstoppable, guided by precision, powered by solar energy. The peaceful harvesters had become a storm of steel. Engineers watched the transformation without emotion, without hesitation. Every insult humanity ignored, every war humanity avoided, every tragedy humanity watched had built something strange, a civilization capable of changing instantly. The galaxy believed humanity weak because we avoided conflict, but humanity remembered something. Peace is a choice, not a limitation, and when survival demands it, peace disappears. Within weeks, the solar system changed completely. Orbital gardens replaced with defense grids, mining colonies expanded into weapons foundries, transport fleets reorganized into military logistics. Even Earth changed. Cities remained peaceful, but beneath them, manufacturing layers expanded. Underground facilities opened, old bunkers reactivated, ancient military archives restored. Humanity was preparing, not just for battle, but for extinction war. Because the signal had proven something, the predators did not negotiate. They harvested, they consumed, they erased civilizations. Humanity would not allow that. Across the network, strategists debated constantly. How powerful were the harvesters? How many existed? How fast they traveled? What weapons they used? Every possibility simulated, every scenario calculated, thousands of outcomes studied, and every outcome ended with the same conclusion. If the predators reached Earth, humanity would lose, unless we changed completely. So humanity did something terrifying. We removed the limits, every restriction lifted, every ethical constraint reconsidered. Weapons once considered impossible were now acceptable. Technology once considered dangerous was now necessary. Humanity was not building defense, humanity was building annihilation. Across the Dyson shell, massive energy collectors redirected, Gigantic beams of power flowed into new projects, projects hidden within solar orbit, projects massive beyond imagination. The first prototypes formed, weapons powered by stars, machines capable of striking across light years. Scientists once studied stars with curiosity. Now they studied them as ammunition. Because if predators hunted civilizations, humanity would hunt predators, and humanity would not miss. The transformation accelerated. Month after month, production doubled, then tripled, then multiplied again. Machines never slept. Machines never paused. Artificial intelligence optimized everything. Artificial humanity guided everything. And slowly, the peaceful solar system vanished, replaced by something darker, something louder, something far more dangerous. A civilization reborn as a war engine. The great apathy was gone forever, and something ancient had taken its place. Humanity had remembered who we were, a species that survived ice ages, plagues, wars, extinction events. Humanity was not fragile. Humanity was relentless. The predators believed they were approaching prey, but the truth was different. They were approaching a trap, a solar system turned into a weapon, and soon humanity would aim it at the stars.
The transformation continued. The solar system no longer slept. Factories burned with light. Dyson collectors fed endless energy, and humanity began building. Something the galaxy had never seen. Weapons powered by stars. Scientists gathered across the network. Engineers from every colony joined. The greatest minds of humanity focused on a single purpose: destroy the predators before they reached Earth. Old research archives opened. Studies once forgotten returned. Experiments abandoned centuries earlier. Dangerous ideas reconsidered. Because now, danger no longer mattered. Only survival mattered. The first concept was simple. If stars produced infinite energy, that energy could become a weapon. But energy alone was not enough. Distance was the enemy. The predators were light years away. Missiles would take decades. Warships would take centuries. Humanity needed something faster, something precise, something unstoppable. The solution emerged slowly from ancient physics: gravity, momentum, mass. The most powerful weapon was not energy, it was matter. A single object moving fast enough could destroy a planet. A single strike could erase civilizations. Humanity had the energy. Humanity had the materials. Humanity had the machines. Now humanity needed a cannon large enough to fire across stars. The project received a name: Celestial Cannon. Construction began near the sun, where gravity was strongest, where energy was limitless. Massive rings formed in orbit, thousands of kilometers wide, built from asteroid metal, reinforced with carbon lattice, connected by magnetic rails. Each segment assembled carefully. Precision mattered, because a mistake would destroy the weapon, or worse, destroy the solar system. But humanity did not hesitate. Engineers trusted their work, because humans had always mastered impossible machines. The cannon grew larger, day by day, month after month. Asteroids vanished, converted into structure. Mining fleets worked endlessly. Material flowed constantly. The ring expanded. Then another ring appeared, then another, layer after layer, a massive weapon orbiting the sun. While the cannon formed, scientists solved another problem.
What would the cannon fire? Missiles were too fragile. Energy beams scattered across distance. The answer returned again. Mass, solid matter, dense objects accelerated to impossible speeds. The projectiles were simple. Tungsten rods, asteroid fragments, compressed metal cores, each one small but unstoppable. Each one capable of destroying continents if they struck a planet, and if accelerated near light speed, they could shatter fleets, even star-side stations. Humanity began forging them, billions of projectiles stored in orbital silos, prepared for launch, prepared for war. But firing blindly was not enough. Humanity needed accuracy across impossible distance. So targeting systems evolved, stellar observation networks expanded, telescopes larger than moons, quantum sensors scanning space, every distant system mapped, every movement tracked. Artificial intelligence predicted trajectories, calculating years ahead. Humanity was learning a new art, stellar sniping, striking targets across light years without warning, without escape. The first tests began quietly. A small projectile launched into empty space. Acceleration systems activated. Magnetic rails screamed with energy. Solar power surged. The rod launched. Faster, 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 until it vanished, gone beyond detection, traveling faster than any human weapon ever built. The test succeeded. Humanity celebrated quietly, because celebration did not matter. Only preparation mattered. More cannons followed. Orbital weapons expanded. Entire rings of artillery, each one capable of interstellar bombardment. The solar system became a fortress armed with stellar cannons, and humanity continued building, relentlessly, because the predators were still coming, still harvesting, still moving closer. But now, humanity had changed. We were no longer observers, no longer silent watchers. Humanity had become something far more dangerous, a civilization that could kill across the galaxy. And the predators still did not know that their next harvest would be different, because the moment they entered human space, they would face the first civilization capable of shooting across the stars and hitting every time. The celestial cannons were almost ready, and when they fired, the galaxy would finally understand what humanity had become. Not peaceful observers, not distant philosophers, but hunters, armed with stars.
The galaxy changed the moment the first human fleet moved. For thousands of years, the stars had been quiet. Civilizations rose and fell. Some fought wars, some vanished mysteriously. But never had the galaxy seen what humanity was about to unleash. Because humanity no longer saw the universe as a place of wonder, they saw it as a battlefield. The first fleet launch was silent. No cheering crowds, no celebrations, just the quiet hum of machines preparing for war. Above Earth, thousands of ships waited. They were not graceful exploration vessels. They were weapons, massive, cold, built for only one purpose: destruction. At the center of the fleet floated the command ship, Aegis Prime. Inside, human commanders watched the stars, not with curiosity, but with calculation. Every star system was a coordinate, every planet a potential target, every unknown signal a threat. The old humanity was gone. The new doctrine had been written only weeks earlier. It was called the Gospel of Total War. Its first rule was simple: If a threat exists, remove it. Its second rule was even simpler. If a threat might exist, remove it anyway. The galaxy had proven something. Silence was not peace. Silence was the sound predators made while hunting. Humanity refused to be prey. The signal that started everything still played on every military console. The last cry of the dying civilization, their voices, their fear, their desperation. It echoed in every human mind. But now those screams meant something different. Not sorrow, not pity, purpose. Human analysts had studied the recording for days. They identified patterns, energy signatures, movement of ships, gravitational distortions. From those fragments, they reconstructed the predator, not perfectly, but enough to hunt it. The creature was not a single being, it was a species, ancient, vast, patient. They did not conquer planets, they harvested them. Entire civilizations were allowed to grow, develop, multiply. Then, when they were advanced enough, the predators arrived. They consumed everything, cities, oceans, atmospheres, even the biosphere, leaving dead worlds behind. Humanity realized something terrifying. The predator had done this before, many times, across thousands of systems. The galaxy's graveyard was far larger than anyone imagined, and Earth was simply next in line. The War Council gathered in orbit, representatives from every human world, engineers, strategists, scientists, and soldiers. No one argued, no one hesitated. The vote was unanimous. Total war. Factories across the solar system began production immediately. Asteroids were hollowed out, planetary crusts were mined, entire moons were turned into shipyards. Human industry transformed faster than anyone believed possible. Because the goal was not victory, the goal was extinction, but not humanity's, theirs. Stellar cannons were installed around the sun, each one capable of launching star-mass projectiles, missiles the size of cities, accelerated by solar gravity. Once fired, they would travel for decades, then arrive with the energy of a supernova. Entire star systems could disappear, and humanity built hundreds. The first targets were chosen carefully, not the predators themselves, not yet. First, the dead zones, the worlds already harvested. Human probes traveled to them, scanning, measuring, studying. The devastation confirmed everything. Planets stripped of life, atmospheres torn away, seas boiled into space. These were not battlefields, they were feeding grounds. Human commanders looked at those ruins, and something inside humanity awakened, something ancient, something buried beneath centuries of comfort. The warrior species. The fleet launched, thousands of ships jumping through folded space, across light years, across the silent dark. Humanity's first interstellar war had begun. Other civilizations noticed immediately. Alien observers detected the massive fleet movements, energy spikes, weapon signatures, industrial output beyond comprehension. They watched with confusion, then fear, because humanity had never behaved like this before. For centuries, humans had been quiet neighbors, peaceful, curious, focused on science and art. But now, humanity had become something else, something terrifying. The first strike came 20 light-years away, a harvested star system, dead planets orbiting a dim sun.
Human fleets surrounded the system, scanning for traces of the predators. They found them, small monitoring stations left behind to track new life growth, evidence that the predators planned to return. Humanity answered immediately. The stellar cannon fired. From the distant solar system, a projectile launched, accelerated by the sun's gravity. It crossed the void silently. For 23 years it traveled. Then it arrived. The impact vaporized the star. The entire system vanished in a flash brighter than a galaxy. Every predator station erased, every trace gone. Humanity had fired its first celestial bullet. The message spread quickly, across the galaxy, across alien networks, across ancient civilizations that had watched humanity with mild curiosity. Now they watched with terror, because the quiet species had just destroyed a star without hesitation, and that was only the beginning. Human fleets moved from system to system. Each harvested world became a target, not out of rage, but strategy. If the predators fed on civilizations, then their feeding grounds had to disappear. The galaxy would become empty, nothing left to harvest. Alien ambassadors begged humanity to reconsider. They sent transmissions, warnings, pleas. They said such destruction would destabilize the galaxy, destroy ecosystems, collapse stellar regions. Humanity listened, then ignored them, because the math was simple. Either the predators died, or everyone else did. Meanwhile, deep in the void, the predators noticed. At first, only small anomalies, missing monitoring stations, destroyed harvesting zones. Then entire stars disappearing. Something was hunting them, something powerful, something angry. They investigated. Their scouts moved toward the source, toward the distant yellow star, toward Earth. They expected another civilization, another harvest, another easy feast. Instead, they found humanity. The first predator fleet encountered human forces near a collapsed system. The predators were enormous living ships, organic, flexible, covered in armor thicker than mountains. They had devoured civilizations for millions of years. They believed themselves unstoppable. Then the humans attacked. Human ships were smaller, hard metal hulls, angular, sharp, but their weapons were brutal, efficient. Railguns fired asteroids at near light speed. Missiles detonated like miniature stars. Lasers cut through living armor. The predators had never faced a species that fought like this, because humans didn't fight to survive. They fought to end the threat forever. No hesitation, no retreat, only extermination. The battle lasted 7 minutes. When it ended, the predator fleet was gone. Not defeated, erased. Human ships continued forward without celebration, because the war had just begun. Back on Earth, the next phase of the doctrine activated, the planet-cracking fleet. Massive ships capable of destroying entire worlds, not as weapons of conquest, but as tools of denial. If the predators required living planets, humanity would remove those planets. The first planet chosen was a known predator breeding world, once a thriving civilization, now a farm. Its oceans filled with biological processing structures, its continents covered with feeding towers. Human fleets surrounded it and waited. The predators arrived too late. The human command ship issued a final transmission, not to the predators, but to the galaxy. This is humanity. The age of silence is over. The predators will find nothing left to consume. Every world they claim will be destroyed. Every fleet they launch will be hunted. Every star they hide behind will be burned. Then the planet cracked. A single weapon strike split its crust. The core destabilized. The world collapsed into molten fragments. Another predator farm erased. Across the galaxy, observers watched in horror. Humanity was not liberating worlds. Humanity was cleansing them. The predators would starve, but the galaxy would never be the same. And that was the final truth of the signal. The dying civilization had hoped for saviors. They had prayed for heroes. Instead, they awakened something far worse. Humanity stepped out from behind its Dyson shells, not as explorers, not as diplomats, but as executioners. And the stars themselves would soon learn the galaxy's quietest species had become its most dangerous.